Durut salam, как вы поживаете? Мне очень хорошо, ну хорошо. Welcome to the mobile studio once again. Okay, I just saw on Instagram that Islam Makhachev is pondering and postulating what it would be like to fight Justin Geathje. Now, before I get 1,000 DMs and messages of what I think about Islam Makhachev contra Justin Geathje, let me just tell you. Okay, this is one of the easier videos I've ever done. Here's why. Y'all remember what Habib did to Justin Geathje? Right? Choked him out, triangle choke. Something similar. Because obviously Islam has been so first off, there is an elite few people that went to the Abdul Manap Nurmagomedov School of Sambo. Okay. And then within that few people, there is the elite of the elite. And I don't know how big that group is, but I know that Islam and Habib are both in that group, obviously. And when Habib wanted to prepare for Justin, he called Islam, and then they rolled, and that's how Habib prepared. So, okay, Islam has a little bit better skill set than Habib in certain areas, and striking is one of them. However, Islam doesn't play around as much as Habib does. Here's what I mean. It's not that Habib played around, so please don't misconstrue what I'm saying. It's that Habib is a great all-time history of the world warrior. And he wants to show you that thing that you think you have an advantage over him, he will come in and take away your advantage. So you can't emotionally cling on to anything. And here's what I mean. So if Conor McGregor is, at the time, is one of the world's greatest strikers, Habib's going to walk down the hallway and show you that he can throw hands. Justin Geathje, great striker, great, the low kick, punch, that type of combo, chop down the tree, that type of thing. He's the best at it right now, at least in that division. And Habib, first thing he did was walk down there and, hey, Justin, I'll throw hands with anybody, including you. I'm not scared. Right? And from that fight, Justin has kind of rolled his posture down, to kind of be ready for the sprawl a little bit earlier, a little bit quicker. And whoever Justin fights, he has just went to war with Chandler. So when it comes to Islam, you can't sit there and throw strikes because he'll shoot on you. He'll time you, he'll shoot on you. Okay. So you can't try to kick him because he'll wrap the waist and he'll foot sweep you. Okay. So you get on the ground and you want to grapple with him. Good luck. So what do? Well, you definitely try to strike. You definitely try to get him into more of a striking style fight if you're Justin Geathje. Absolutely. You're picking and popping. Move in, strike, move back, move side, pick, pop, picking and popping. Move in for one or two and then just get the hell out of the way. Just whether it's back, whether it's side, whether it's the other side, whether you fake a shot coming in, whatever you're doing, You're just trying to go the other way. And if you're just engaging and you get a chance to shoot in on Islam Makhachev, shoot, commit. I mean, commit to it more than you've ever committed to anything in your life. Just go in there, just shoot with the biggest force you can, just explode off your legs. Go in there and try to wrap up Islam, because Islam is less effective when he's as in anybody is less effective when you're fighting out of position, or when you're, you know, if you make Islam have to work out of guard, even when he's the one, he's Tory, even when he's Tory in guard, making him work out of guard is something that he doesn't want to do. Now, it's also a good way to get triangle choked. Because just because these Sambo guys like to work from top control, they know guard position. They know guard position because, especially up there in the mountains, because you know, they're doing 5th degree level black belt judo, you know, or maybe even higher. I don't know. All I know is what I've been exposed to as far as what the upper levels of black belt judo is. Senkaku, I believe, is the position. Senkaku from guard, Senkaku from standing. I don't remember, but there's a whole, one of the degrees of black belt is all about submitting and striking from guard, and then so on and so forth. Anyway, without me getting lost here trying to rack my brain to think super judo, who cares? But the bottom line is that Justin hasn't, his game is the same. His game is the same since he fought Habib. It's the same game. It's not like he's showed us that, you know, he's going to go in, do some fancy leg sweeps, land on top, do some crushing side control, go from a Muni Keisegatami to a Kazur Keisegatami to a regular Keisegatami to a Kata Gatami to, you know, a high mount, full mount, back to a high mount, to an S mount, to a Ure Hishingi Juje Gatami. Like, he's not doing all this exotic newaza. He is punch, punch, kick, 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 punch, punch. And then great sprawling, magnificent sprawling. And then back up to his feet where he wants to punch, punch, kick, kick. And here's the thing, Islam knows that if Geathje, Tony Ferguson has not been the same since he fought Justin Geathje. He hasn't. Justin Geathje will change your leg forever. Forever. If you let him kick you enough. Justin Geathje will change your face forever if you let him punch you enough. And Islam is the epitome of smart guy. You know, because Habib, when he's critical of people, he was like, he's a great fighter, he's a stupid guy. Well, Islam Makhachev is a great fighter, but he's a really smart guy. He's a really smart guy. He's the kind of guy who would take an L to not like have his body changed forever. Right? He's not taking an L, and, you know, he's a really smart guy, so he just figures something else out to win. Okay, so don't misconstrue what I'm saying just because I'm trying to, like, prove a point. All right, but yeah, they're both gonna walk down the hallway. Islam is gonna be a little bit of elusive. Maybe they trade some hands, but Islam is gonna get in there and take him down. I mean, quick. I'm talking maybe 5, 6, 7 total strikes before. I mean, that's between the two of them. before Islam takes him down, and then it's does Justin know how to get out of smesh? And smesh is you're clamping your legs around somebody in a mount, or you're clamping your legs around somebody's legs, and you're driving smesh, 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 smesh. Once they're soft, once they can't breathe, once they're disoriented, then you go for a sub. That's essentially what smesh is, right? They sometimes, whenever guys do the smesh, the fight gets stopped, but that's not the point of smesh. Smesh is just to soften the guy up so that you can win. Now, if they stop the fight before you go for your sub, great, fantastic. But smesh isn't a long-term position. It's a transition to the win. And so Islam Makhachev versus Dan Hooker beat him so quickly. Dan Hooker has a bigger reach advantage and is a stronger striker with more strikes, with more exotic strikes from more platforms than Justin Geathje. Hands down. Justin Geathje punches harder. So can Justin Geathje land one and knock out Islam Makhachev? Yeah. Yes. Justin Geathje could go fight Andre the Giant and have one and knock him out. Justin Geathje could have one against Ankalaev, against Błachowicz, against Glover Teixeira. He just punches really, really hard. Now, is it likely that he's going to get a one-hitter quitter against the big boys? Probably not. Is it likely that he's going to get a one-hitter quitter against Islam Makhachev? Yeah, not really. No, it's a very tiny percentage that he lands one clean on the button against Islam Makhachev. Those guys, Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov, taught those guys from the time they were walking how to hide their head. I'm convinced that the first thing that he taught those guys how to do was how to protect themselves in a fight. Because the one thing that you see out of the Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov camp more than you see out of anything else, the one thing that every fighter does uniformly is they all protect their head, they all protect their feet. Like, they don't get touched up a lot. I'm convinced that Abdulmanap used the wrestling shot because he didn't want those guys to stand and be able to take punishment. He chose to enter Morotegari style because that way he can hide the head. And I know Khabib did a lot of stuff head out, but that was it's Morotegari, because the way they're lifting, the way they do subtle positions, especially Islam. Islam is more judo than Khabib was judo, but anyway, against Geathje, I see more of the same. Get in there, foot sweep, hide the head. He probably has to eat a couple because Geathje can hit you at angles that most people can't hit you at, and he can get a lot on it from just very weird, exotic angles. So Islam's probably going to have to eat some. I doubt he comes out of it without, some bruising. Some bruising, but yeah, he would definitely get hit more than he got hit versus Hooker. Hooker. Who is Hooker? Well, he's not gonna say who is Geathje, obviously. He's gonna be very respectful of Justin Geathje. Justin Geathje is gonna be very respectful of him. These guys are not going to call each other names. There's love there. There is love between the Geathje camp, Trevor Whitman, and the Geathje camp, and the Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov Legacy Sambo camp. I believe Khabib is running that camp now, but the Nurmagomedov Sambo, it's special. It is special. It puts a tear in my eye how special that fighting grappling style is, especially with Javier Mendez in there taking the striking to a different level, because the first striking they had was just a Timmy Waza. A Timmy Waza isn't great. A Timmy Waza, the karate style judo strikes, that is only in there so that you can set up your judo. It's not meant to be, you know, a standing and striking. Judo, the gentle way. Gentle, do, way, Dao, whatever. The gentle way. And the reason why it's the gentle way is because if I pick you up and throw you and submit you, you can live. You know, I haven't maimed you. Whereas in jiu-jitsu, the old jiu-jitsu was maiming. It was head collecting, and judo is far more gentle than maiming you, doing black magic on you, and cutting your head off. Because never forget, the samurais were really big into black magic and just magic anyway. Water spirits. It's really cool stuff. Look into it. But yeah, so I would even call this Islam Makhachev. I would, without even doing a great deal of research. And it's for the two biggest reasons I stated earlier. One, whoever fights Geathje next has got to fight Geathje after he went to war with Chandler. That you don't go to war with someone like that, and like, it takes a long time to be able to train at full speed, and then it takes a long time to be able to, like, cognitively, like, those guys went to war. That Michael Chandler's performance against Justin Geathje was the most impressive thing I have seen in quite a while. I mean, maybe what Conor McGregor did to Cowboy was a little bit more impressive. Like, who thought anybody was going to whip Cowboy's ass that quick? But just seeing Chandler just go blow for blow with Justin Geathje, there's no amount of money you could pay me to stay on my feet against Justin Geathje. I am 40 years old. I outweigh him by 70 pounds or something like that. I have a tremendous pop in my hands. And if you were to be like, hey, Henry, you have all these advantages. You're fighting a guy who's about 5'9", 155. We just want you to go blow for blow. You're crazy. I'm taking him down, and I'm trying to crush and smother. I'm trying to slow this thing. I ain't getting hit by that guy. He punches like a bull. Everything. His feet can be wrong. He still gets a lot on it. His angle could be wrong. He still gets a lot on it. His jab doesn't have to be textbook. It just come out of nowhere and just tag you up. I ain't going blow for blow with this guy. You're crazy. Stop it. But yeah, if the fight happened, it would be both guys would walk out of the hallway. Islam would have to eat 1 or 2 shots. He'd go in, wrap the waist. Justin has great sprawl, so he'd probably wrap the waist from the side. Marote Gari. Go in for a sweep. He probably would be doing some sort of ashiwaza for a sweep or a trip, maybe an ouchi, maybe a kouchi. He'd get him down, he'd climb up, hide the head, and then go for a submission. Probably, ure hishingi, juji gatami. Because Justin's got, so his shoulders to waist, his shoulders aren't like tremendously bigger than his waist, and his arms aren't like tremendously long compared to his frame. So I would go in, which means the elbow is closer to the proximal joint. The elbow is closer to the shoulder, which means that you can kind of get in there and get it's easier to get a armbar from mount that way. Or it's easier to go from S mount to because all you got to do is squeeze the shoulder real hard, and it's already popping that elbow up. So Geathje Gatame on Justin Geathje would probably be like the thing to go for, because a Kimura, now you have Justin Geathje defending a Kimura or Americana. You know, you can use your feet a little bit more. Does that make sense? It's easier to pin the person on Geathje Gatame and kind of stop them from being able to use their feet than it is to do for uregrami. But uregrami is easier to get. So for me, like I'm a uregrami specialist. I can get it just about on anybody, you know, if I haven't been spanked up and down the mat first. if I'm in a position where I can go for a sub, I get it at a high frequency. Oh, man, I had this Brazilian, what was he? Blue belt something, whatever. He was spanking me up and down the mat, dude. I could not go for anything. Well, we finally went for our last round. The guy he goes, and he wanted to do grip fight. He'd been spanking me, so he wanted to practice grip fighting a little bit. Well, I grabbed him uregrami standing up. We went for a roll back. How'd you get that? Because I'm old and smart. That was all that is. If I was your age, you'd still be spanking me, because I wouldn't have seen this. So the reason why I told that story is that's how Islam Makhachev is at all times. So, yeah, Islam. All right. Khoda Hafiz.